Last week, I posted my first impressions of the Samsung Galaxy M17 5G on Digit's website. You can check it out, it is linked below. And as of recording this video, I have been using this phone for about 2 weeks, and in this whole time, my overall thoughts about this phone remain quite positive with a few small points that could have been better. So let's break it down. Hello everyone, I'm Ania for Digit and this is my full review of the Samsung Galaxy M17 5G. Let's get started. First up, the design, because this is the part that impressed me the most initially and still does. The Galaxy M17 5G looks and feels surprisingly premium for a phone that starts under 13,000 rupees. It's slim at just 7.5 mm thick, light in hand, and has that typical Samsung design language that you can recognize instantly. Now, some might say Samsung plays it too safe, but I think that familiarity works well here. The Moonlight Silver variant, which I've been using, looks elegant and hides fingerprints nicely thanks to the matte finish. The phone also comes with Corning Gorilla Glass Victus protection and an IP54 rating, which isn't something you usually see in this price bracket. My only complaint, that notch. In 2025, a hole punch cutout would have made the phone look a lot more modern, especially since many competitors have already switched. Samsung and displays are almost always a good combination, and the Galaxy M17 5G continues that streak. It's got a 6.7-inch Full HD Plus Super AMOLED screen with a 90Hz refresh rate. The result, well, colors pop nicely, blacks are deep, and brightness levels are solid. Now, Samsung claims 1100 nits peak brightness, and surprisingly, when I tested it using a lux meter, I got a maximum luminance of 705 nits on manual brightness and a whopping 1410 nits on adaptive brightness, which is even more than what Samsung claims. In simple words, the Galaxy M17 5G stays visible even under harsh sunlight. Watching content or scrolling through apps feels smooth, and it's honestly one of the best screens you can find at this price. Of course, support for HDR playback would have been nice, but that's forgivable given the cost. Under the hood, the Galaxy M17 5G runs on Samsung's Exynos 1330 chipset, the same SoC we have seen in a few other Samsung mid-range models. It is not a performance beast, but for day-to-day stuff like Instagram, WhatsApp, browsing, and even some light gaming, it runs smoothly. Apps open fairly quickly, and I didn't notice any major heating or throttling issues. Benchmark numbers also aren't going to blow anyone away, but real-world performance is what matters here, and that's been steady. You get up to 8GB RAM and 128GB storage is standard across all variants, which is decent, though I do wish there were a 256GB version as well. Of course, that might have bumped the price, so fair trade-off. The good news is there's also hybrid SIM slot if you want to expand the storage. On the software side, Samsung's One UI 7 based on Android 15 feels mature and well optimized even on a budget phone. Some AI features like Circle to Search and Gemini Live are built in, and the interface remains clean and easy to use once you uninstall the extra apps. The real win, though, is Samsung's long-term promise: 6 years of OS and 6 years of security updates. That is massive for a phone at this price point and easily one of its biggest strengths. Now, moving to the battery, there's a 5000 mAh unit inside and it performs exactly how you'd expect from Samsung, reliably. I've easily been getting through a full day of mixed use, social media, camera use, some gaming, streaming, calls, and still have juice left by the evening. Now, charging happens through a 25-watt fast charger, though Samsung doesn't include it in the box. Also, it is not the fastest around, but the efficiency of the 5nm chip helps balance things out. No real complaints here. Now let's talk cameras, because this is another area where Samsung has made some smart choices. You get a 50 megapixel main sensor with OIS, a 50 megapixel ultra wide angle camera, and a macro camera. And for a budget phone, having OIS and an ultra wide option is impressive. Now in good light, the main camera produces sharp, detailed photos with natural colors, nothing overly boosted. Dynamic range is handled quite well too, with a good balance between shadows and highlights, even in tricky outdoor scenes. The ultra-wide camera is also decent for that occasional landscape shot, though you do notice some softness around the edges. Low light photos are fine but not standout. There's still some visible noise, which is expected at this price point. The night mode though helps a bit by brightening up the scene and pulling out more detail, but you will need a steady hand to get the best results. Now the 13 megapixel selfie camera does a decent job too, though skin tones can lean slightly cool. Basically, if you are clicking casual photos or Instagram stories, the Galaxy M17 5G holds up well. So after using the Galaxy M17 5G for a while, here's the verdict that this phone doesn't try to be flashy, but it nails the basics really well. It looks premium, feels light, runs smoothly, and offers one of the best displays in its segment. The software update promise adds huge long-term value, and the cameras are solid for everyday use. Of course, it is not perfect. A hole punch cutout would have sealed the deal, and I wish Samsung included a charger or offered a higher storage option, but none of these are deal breakers. At a starting price of 12,999 rupees, the Galaxy M17 5G feels like a dependable, well-rounded smartphone that should age gracefully, something that can't be said for many budget devices. And that's it for my full review of the Samsung Galaxy M17 5G. Let me know your thoughts about the device in the comments, and as always, I will catch you all in the next one. Thank you for watching.